Alright guys, welcome back to the channel guys. It is me, 8744 today guys. We are back for some UEFA World Cup Qualifier actions guys. And so it's been a while since I've done a video about UEFA guys. Everyone's one of the confederations has the largest qualifiers, and obviously we know how big this is. So of course we need to discuss about this, and I have been keeping up with the results, and we're almost around the end point of this. So obviously this is the final month of the World Cup qualifiers, so the month of UEFA. Now obviously there will be the playoffs, which we'll do a separate discussion for. And today I just want to give you guys a quick touch on how each nation's doing. This is well over halfway through. I mean, this is almost like 80% through. I mean, basically covering the entire thing, basically. So, we're going to go look at each group, how each nation is doing. Not talk about every single nation, because that's going to take a very long time. So rather what I'll do instead is only discuss about the nations that actually have a realistic chance of qualifying to the World Cup. Okay? Because you guys know UEFA, there's so many nations here. Guys will be here all day. Now, before we get on start with this video, guys, make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Remember, guys, my goal is to get 500 subscribers. I'm not going to be repeating the explanation why. You guys can check the previous videos and why I've been doing this. So I'm just going to keep it short and brief, and that 500 subscribers is my target, which will be around halfway through 1,000 subscribers, and I think that'll be a very manageable goal that we can achieve by the end of the year. We're right now at 402 subscribers. I also keep forgetting to tell you guys this. Make sure you guys hit the bell notification on for all notifications, so whenever I go live or whenever I upload a video, guys, you guys can get notified, and that will be greatly appreciated. That's another feature that you guys should be doing, and I think this is something I keep forgetting to tell people about this, and it just keeps slipping past my mind. So make sure you guys do the following. Now, without said, guys, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So our first group, guys, Serbia is top of the group with 17 points. Portugal is second with 16 points. Now, even though Serbia are ahead of Portugal, as you can see, by a point margin, keep in mind that Serbia have played a game more than Portugal. And that if Portugal win their match, Portugal wins their two matches, then Portugal will get surpassed. So basically, Portugal do have a game in hand. As you can see, Portugal, their next remaining fixtures they have are essentially against Ireland away, which you would expect them to win, and then they have Serbia at home, which is probably going to be the decisive game in the sense that which one will top the group. So let's just say, for argument's sake, let's say Portugal beat Ireland away, and let's say Serbia they beat, let's say, oh, actually, never mind, they've already played all their matches. So basically, that match may not even matter that much, because let's look at the standings, right? So let me put it back here. So let's just say that Portugal do win away against Northern Ireland. Would you would expect them? 19 points. So Serbia have to beat Portugal on the final match day at away, and Portugal, they just need to draw the top. So Portugal don't even need to beat Serbia, but Portugal do need to beat Ireland. All right, because if Serbia beat Portugal, it makes things interesting. But let's be real, guys. Let's be real. I think we all know that it's pretty much between Serbia and Portugal for that top two spots. There is really nothing else. Everything else has basically already been decided. Luxembourg, they're basically out. Ireland, they've been out. Azerbaijan, they've been out. And obviously, we already kind of knew this. And honestly, this group was always going to come down to these two nations to battle it against each other. So I'm going to go ahead and still stick with Portugal at the top of the group. I originally predicted that, and I'm going to still stick with that. And I think Serbia will come in second. As for my prediction, let me just give you an early prediction here. I think my points, let's cut up with the remaining matches since we're already here. I think Portugal end up topping the group with, I'm gonna say they end up winning the group with 22 points. I think Serbia will come second with 17. Okay, so Portugal will only draw points in one match in particular, which you could argue that they were robbed in, especially that 2-2 draw against Serbia, in which Ronaldo scored a last-minute goal, but obviously we know what happened. Referee didn't give the goal. Obviously, a very controversial decision. I think the goal should have stood, but I rest my case. So let's move on to Group B. Group B, guys. This is where things get very interesting indeed. So you have Sweden, Spain, Greece, Georgia, Kosovo. Guys, Georgia and Kosovo, they're pretty much out. They're pretty much out of this. There's no way they can qualify, and it's pretty much unlikely. Now, Greece still do have a chance, a very slim chance, and of course, Spain and Sweden are the two heavyweights. Let's look at Sweden's remaining matches. So Sweden, they have to travel to Georgia away, which you would expect Sweden to win. And then they have Spain on the final match day. So let's talk about Spain on the final match day a bit later on. Okay? Then we go back to Spain. Spain, they have to play Greece on the road, in which they did drew 1-1, remember, earlier in the World Cup Qualifiers. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was like early in March, I want to say. Yeah, they drew 1-1 on the very first match day, and Greece actually got a draw there, which was pretty big, you know? And then, yeah, obviously with the Sweden game. And then Greece, let's see what game they have. They actually have to play against Spain at home, and then they have Kosovo at home. So the Greece are in a very good position. That basically, if they could beat Kosovo at home, which you would expect them to do so with Kosovo not really having much to play for, then if they can nick a point away at home against Spain, or even pick up 3 points against Spain, Greece could maybe get that playoff spot. So what do I think is going to happen? What do I think is going to happen? A very good question. I think Spain's going to beat Greece. I think Spain will beat Greece away from home. I think Spain will pick up a 1-0 win, which will pretty much see Greece out of this. And then I think they'll put Spain on 16 points. And then I think Sweden, they'll beat Georgia, so I'll put on 18 points. And then we have the final decisive game that's going to take place on the final match day, and Spain and Sweden. Now remember, Spain have to beat Sweden. Spain have to beat Sweden to directly qualify. Whereas Sweden, on the other hand, they can afford a draw. A draw is affordable for them. So, what does that think? That's a good question. That's a tough one. Spain versus Sweden. Let me check when that's going to be playing, because I ain't got to watch that game. I need to watch that. It's going to take place November 14th on Sunday, 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Wow, what a big game. I'm going to say, guys, I think it's going to end in a draw. I think it's going to end in a draw, guys. Spain, I don't think really match up well against Sweden. We saw what they did in the Euros. And I think Sweden's just a bad matchup for Spain. I just think Sweden's a bad matchup for Spain. And I could see that ending in a draw, which would send Sweden directly into the World Cup by default. And Spain will have to go through the playoffs. How crazy would that be, guys? How crazy would that be? So, yes, guys, I'm going to say Sweden actually topped the group, which I would believe they'll be on 19 points. And I think Spain will be on 17 points. So, yeah, guys, Spain, they have to win that final game. And even if they do win that final game, let's just say, hypothetically, they do, right? Sweden would be on 18, right? And then Spain would be on 19. Oh, wow, they would only top out just by 1 point. That's how close the things are, man. How close that margin is. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, and Greece, man. Greece are still in this, man. If they can hold a draw against Spain, I think it's over for Spain. I think it's over. So Spain cannot afford to drop points to Greece on the road. Okay? So keep an eye upon this group, guys. Group C. This is also another really interesting group. I think it's fair to say that, guys, that this is pretty much between Italy and Switzerland for that direct World Cup spot. And Italy, man, they're on level points with Switzerland, which is a bit surprising, you know. And I believe Italy and Switzerland, they have a crucial game against each other. Yep, it's going to be on Friday, November 12th. Just this coming Friday, guys. Not this Friday, the Friday afterwards. And that's going to be a big game. Italy have to win that game. They're playing at home. And then Switzerland, they travel. They host Bulgaria at home. So, you know, whereas Italy, on the other hand, let's just see what their fixtures are like. Italy, they travel to Northern Ireland away. So, I think it's fair to say that Italy and Switzerland will beat their respective opponents. I think it's going to end 17-17. And for that decisive game, I'm going to say, because here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Italy can afford to draw the game. Italy can afford to draw because they'll still be on top of the group. The only way Switzerland can top is they have to beat Italy on the road. Do I think they will? No. I think Italy will actually win this game, guys. I think Italy will win this game against Switzerland. They're playing at home, and I think Italy knows that if they win this game, I think it's almost... They put themselves in a very good chance to qualify directly. So I think Italy will win this one. It's at home. I think Italy's going to top the group at 17 points. And I think... actually, I think they're going to top at 20, and I think Switzerland comes second with 17. Okay? So, yeah, that's just my take there, guys. Keep an eye upon this one, though, because Switzerland could directly still qualify. And they're on the same number of points, okay? The goal difference is almost very similar, except Italy they've scored more goals. Okay. Group D, guys. Group D. Look at France, man. 3 wins, 3 draws. How crazy is that? France have been so subpar, man. I mean, they just haven't really been that great at the year 2021, but yet they still managed to win a trophy this year, which says something. And they're still top of the group, man, which is quite phenomenal to say the least. This is a wide open group, guys. This is a wide open group. Every nation here, I think, with the exception of Kazakhstan, has a chance to make that World Cup, even through the playoffs. Like every nation still has a chance to directly qualify, you know. So it's going to be interesting. Now, keep in mind, guys, Ukraine have already played 7 matches, so Finland do have a game in hand essentially. Okay, and Bosnia also are also in this. So we're gonna have to take a look. We're gonna have to take a wide look in this group, guys. There's nothing too solidified yet. So let's go look at France's remaining games. So France, they have Kazakhstan at home and Finland away. I think France will beat Kazakhstan, and I think France will beat Finland. So France, that will be on 6 points, and that puts them on how many points? So, yeah, I think France will top the group with 18 points. Ukraine, their final match is against Bosnia on the road. No, yeah, Bosnia on the road. This is an interesting one. I think they actually draw this match. I think Ukraine's going to draw this match with Bosnia on the road, and I think it's going to be I can see a 1-1 draw again. So Ukraine would be on 10 points. Finland, they have Bosnia away and France at home. Let me just say this right now. They ain't beating France at home. Okay? They can maybe sneak a draw, but they're definitely not beating France at home. I can guarantee that right now. Okay? Let me see when the last time they met. Yeah, France won 2-0. So, that crucial game against Bosnia, man, is going to be at home for Bosnia. I think this one might end in a draw. I think this one might also end in a draw. So, I'm going to say a draw, guys. Man, there's so many draws in this group, guys. So, I think Finland would be on 1 point. So, that puts them on 9 points. And Ukraine would be on 10. And the Bosnia, yep. Then they play against Finland at home. And then they play against Ukraine. Wow, I just realized both their games are, yeah. So I think Bosnia will draw both of their games. So, draw. So, let's go look at their final group. So I think it's going to be 18 for France. And I think Ukraine will come in second with 10. I think third will be in this group. I think it's going to be Finland with 9. And I think fourth is going to be Bosnia with 8. So, Ukraine will just about sneak through, guys. Ukraine will just about sneak through. Wow. Isn't it crazy that Ukraine have picked up 1 win so far and 6 draws? That's just incredible. Yeah. And Finland's record, man, look at that. It's like perfect. I mean, 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, 7 goals scored, 7 goals conceded, 0-8. It's just weird, man. Like, wow. Yeah, guys, this is an interesting one. I want you guys to keep an eye up on this group. This group I'm also going to keep a very close eye on. This group could be interesting, guys. Group E, guys. Group E. Guys, it's fair to say Estonia and Belarus are out. Now, we have the 3 big nations to discuss. Belgium, Czech, and Wales. Now, Belgium, let's go and look at Belgium's games real quick. So, Belgium, they play against Estonia at home and Wales on the road. I think Belgium beat Estonia. As far as the Wales game is concerned, I think Belgium beat Wales as well. So, I think Belgium will pick 6 points up, and I think they'll end up topping the group with 22 points. Okay. Czech Republic, on the other hand, keep in mind, they've already played a game more. They have to travel. They play Estonia in the final match day. So I think they beat Estonia. So Czech Republic will be on 14 points. Wales do have 2 matches. Wales, they play Belarus at home, which I think they should beat Belarus. That puts them on 14 points. And then Belgium at home. That could be tricky. I think they lose that match. So that would that would mean that Czech Republic, I believe, would make it through because their goal difference is superior. Now, keep in mind, I think Wales will still make it through the playoffs because of the Nations League kind of thing. So I think they're one of the highest ranked nations from the Nations League thing. So, yeah, because they did top their Nations League group. So Czech Republic and Wales, I think, will make it through. Okay? If my memory serves me right. So, interesting there. Group F. Okay, just wanted to see how many groups here. I've already kind of discussed about this group already in my channel, so you guys can check it out. I checked about Denmark. I'm not going to obviously discuss Denmark anymore. There's no point in discussing Denmark because they've already qualified by default. Let's discuss about the nation that will come in second, though. Let's look at Scotland's games. Scotland, they have Moldova on the road, and they have Denmark at home. Now, I think that Moldova game, they're going to obviously win. I think Scotland should beat Moldova. That Denmark game, it's going to be at home. It's going to be at home for Scotland. I have a feeling that they could maybe win this game, because this is a game that doesn't really mean much for Denmark. But I'm not sure if they do, if I'm being honest. So this depends on what Denmark's going to do. If they're going to go perfect, if Denmark really cares about this whole perfect thing, then it's going to be difficult for Scotland to win. So I'll play it safe and say a draw. So I think Scotland will pick up 4 points. Okay? Israel, on the other hand, they play Austria on the road, which I think could be a draw. I think that's going to end in a draw. I think Israel, then they play against Faroe Islands at home. By the way, guys, I'm sorry the screen's going to be small. Let me just make this a little bigger for you guys so you guys can see. Yeah, no, it's not working. Maybe my face. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. So Israel, they play against Faroe Islands. I think Israel should beat Faroe Islands, so I think Israel is going to pick up 4 points. So let me write this down, guys. So Israel 4. And then I think Scotland gets 4. Austria. I think Austria is almost out of this, guys. Austria, they have to play against Israel at home. That could be a tough one. I think I said that's going to end in a draw, so I'll stick with a draw. And I think Austria will get a win against Moldova. So, Austria 4. Alright, so if that pans out as I predict, Scotland will actually end up getting the second place spot. And Israel gets second, third, and then Austria will get fourth with 14. 14. So, yeah, wow. Scotland will actually take home second, which I believe I predict Austria to get second. And so, did Israel, I forgot, how did Israel do the Nations League? Let me go check that real quick. Israel, their UEFA Nations League. Yeah, they didn't top it. Austria did, though. So, Austria should at least try to get third, guys. Yeah, Austria needs to at least get third, guys. So, we'll see if they'll be able to do it or not. I think Scotland's gonna take that second place spot, and I'm gonna edge with Israel to get that third place spot. But this one could be interesting, guys. Keep an eye upon this group. This group could be very interesting indeed. So Austria, Austria cannot get second. The best Austria can do is third. So they have to beat Israel away at home, I think, right? Yeah, they have to beat Israel at home, and they have to beat what was it? I just checked. Moldova. So I think they play Moldova, right? Yeah, they play Moldova. So if they can pick up 6 points, then that puts them in a great position. So they have to be that Israel match is a must-win match for them, because if they fail to win that, they ain't getting third. They're out of the World Cup. Okay, they're out of the qualifiers. Moving on, Group G. This is also another interesting group, guys. We have to discuss about this. What a group this is, guys. Netherlands, Norway, Turkey. This is a very interesting group, guys. Very interesting. Very tight indeed as well. And Montenegro are still in this with a bit of a shout. Okay? Latvia is out. Latvia ain't doing this. And obviously Gibraltar are obviously out. Montenegro even still have an outside chance to do this, guys. Very outside. Very slim, though. So let's see what Netherlands games are. Netherlands, they have to play against Montenegro away, which you would expect Netherlands to win. And then they have that big game against Norway at home. That's going to be interesting, guys. That's going to be interesting. I think Netherlands win both of their matches, guys. So the Netherlands, that would put them at 6 points. And I think that would mean, 6 points. That would put Netherlands at 25 points. Norway, on the other hand, they have to play against Latvia at home, and then they have to travel to Netherlands. I think Norway should beat Latvia. That Netherlands game, I think Norway actually loses. So Norway will be on 3 points. All right, remember, hear me out the point totals, guys, because this is going to be interesting. So 25, then 20 points for Norway. Turkey will then play Gibraltar at home, which you would expect them to win. And I think Montenegro, they should be able to win. So I think Turkey should be able to win both of their matches, these matches. Okay? Because remember, guys, they did drew earlier to Montenegro. But I think with their new coach, they should be able to bounce back here. So 6 points. Okay? So, let me say this right now. Netherlands, I think, will top the group at 25. And then I think Turkey will actually end up getting that second place spot with 21 points. And then Norway would get third with 20 points. That would mean that Turkey would just about make it through by a point margin. So Netherlands have to beat Norway in the final match day for Turkey to advance. And assuming that Turkey do their job, obviously. So, what a group, man. What a group this could be out. And Montenegro, let's look at their remaining fixtures. And we already saw theirs, actually. Never mind. So, yeah, I think Montenegro are not going to pick up any more points. So, I think the group is going to be Netherlands with 25. I think Turkey is going to come in second with 21. And I think third is going to be Norway with 20. So, wow. Everyone, guys, Holland, I think, will miss these fixtures, by the way. I'm not sure Yilmaz. Yilmaz might be able to play these games. I'm not so sure. But I think Holland's going to miss for sure, I think. So, Turkey, man, they better not let me down, man. They better not let me down because I did predict them to come second, by the way. So, yeah. Group H, guys, we're getting to the business end. It's been 21 minutes, guys. It's been a long video indeed, guys. Long video indeed. I've been taking the time out of my life to cover this stuff, and it's been insane. Anyways, let's talk about Group H, guys. Guys, it's basically between Russia and Croatia. Slovenia and Slovakia, they put a valiant effort. They have tried their best, but ultimately, it was always going to be between Russia and Croatia for that top spot. This is interesting, though, because that game, Russia-Croatia, could decide which nation tops the group. Let's go look at the remaining games for both the nations. So Croatia then play against Malta. I think Croatia should beat Malta on the road. Then Croatia play against Russia at home. Whereas Russia, on the other hand, they play against Cyprus at home, which you would expect them to win. And then Croatia, they travel away to Croatia. This is where things get interesting. I think Russia should beat Cyprus. And then I have this feeling. Okay, let me go back here. So Russia will end up with 22, and then Croatia will be on 20. That final game is a must-win game for Croatia. They have to win that game at home against Russia. Russia can afford to draw the match. This is where things get interesting. What do I think is going to happen in the final match day between Russia and Croatia? C. This is very interesting because the fact that Croatia is at home gives a huge advantage. I think that's huge. Because generally speaking, Croatia, when they're at home, they're usually very good. Usually very good at home. Usually play amazing football at home. Whereas on the road, they tend to put out some mediocre displays and sometimes even terrible displays. They're not that great on the road. And I did predict that Russia would originally top the group, by the way, just so you guys know. Am I going to still stick with that? Give me a moment to think, guys. Give me a moment to think. I think that final match, guys, is going to end at a dramatic 0-0. I have a feeling that both these nations are about the same level. I don't think these nations are that far much apart in quality. And even though Croatia is at home for the match, and yes, I would think that Croatia would give it their all. I just think it's going to be too much Croatia. I think they'll try everything they can, but I think Russia will be very defensive. They'll be very stubborn at the back, and I think Croatia will pile in so much pressure, and then Russia will have some counterattacking opportunities. And I just can't really see Russia. I just feel like it's going to be too difficult for Croatia. It's going to be too difficult for Croatia for them to break down that Russia bus, because I think Russia will be very defensive in that game because they know that a draw will send them through. So I think Russia. Sorry for my word choice. I think Russia will end up topping the group with 23 points, and I think Croatia will come in second with 21 points. Okay? However, I will say this, though. Don't be surprised if Croatia wins on the final match day. It's at home. There is plenty of optimism, and I wouldn't be surprised. So Croatia, they'll probably give it their all. I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but I'm going to go ahead and say Russia tops the group. I will still stick with that. Group I. We're getting to the penultimate group. What a group, guys. What a group. Andorra and San Marino, they're basically out. Okay? Basically out. Okay? Andorra's technically still do have a chance, but it's not really a good chance. Let's be real. Let's really be real here, guys. Let's be real. I'm gonna go and look at all these games coming up. So England, let's see who they play. England, they play against Albania at home and the San Marino on the road. They're gonna win against San Marino on the road. We just know that already. Albania at home could be interesting. Okay. I think England beats Albania. I think England wins both these matches, and I think that they directly qualify with 26 points. Poland, on the other hand, they have to play against Andorra on the road, which you would expect Poland to win. And then Poland then play Hungary on the final match day. That's going to be interesting. I'll get back to the Hungary game in a bit. Okay. So then let's see what Albania does. Albania, they play against England on the road, and they play against Andorra. I think the England and Albania should win against Andorra. If I'm being honest, they should at least. I would expect them to. So Albania would be on 3 points. Wait, let me make sure I say this correctly. So Albania will be on 3. England, I think, will be good. So England, let me just write this down. England will be on 26. Okay. I think Albania will be on 19. Okay. And then Hungary, they play against San Marino, which you would expect Hungary should win that. And then they play against Poland on the road. I'll get to that in a bit. Okay? So Hungary, let's just write the Hungary and Poland ones down. So Hungary and Poland, they'll get 3 points for sure. Okay? So Hungary would be on 14. Poland would be on 20. Then that final game basically decides everything. Okay? Actually, yeah, never mind. Actually, I'm looking at the point margins. Even Poland will still be second if Albania just loses to England. I think that's going to end in a draw. Okay? I think that's going to end in a draw. So I think England will top the group with 26, and I think Poland will come second with 21. And I think third is going to be Albania with 19, and the fourth is going to be Hungary with 15. And Hungary, man, they've been super disappointing. I thought they would at least be able to challenge for that third place spot, but they have been very, very poor. They've been subpar, to say the least. Albania, let me just see. I don't think they topped their Nations League group. I don't think they did. Let me just check. I doubt they did. Oh, they actually did. They actually did. But I don't think that's going to really be great for them because I believe it's the top 2 highest. So I think Wales and Austria will benefit from that. I don't think that's going to be great for Albania. Now, if Austria don't come third, then they might have a chance. I'm going to check something real quick after this about the Nations League playoffs. I want to see how many nations can advance by the Nations League kind of thing. So we'll just check that in a bit. But let's just do this first, guys, real quick. So, yeah. Anyways, it's going to be interesting. And then Group J, guys. Group J. Obviously, we know Germany's already advanced by default. We already know that. So I'm not going to even bother discussing about Germany's matches. We're not going to even look at their matches. So Romania is on second with 13. North Macedonia is 12. Armenia is on 12. Iceland still have a chance with 8 points. Yeah, Iceland been super disappointing, guys. Iceland been super disappointing. Okay? So let's look at the remaining fixtures for both these all 3 of these nations. Romania, they have to play against Iceland at home. And then they play against Liechtenstein on the road. I think Romania is going to beat Liechtenstein. Okay, that's pretty much a guarantee. Will they beat Iceland at home? That's the question. I think Romania does. Iceland, they've been on a very bad funk as of recently, and I just think Iceland, they're on the decline. You know, they didn't qualify for the Euros, so yeah, I think Romania will do it, guys. I think Romania will get 6 points. So Romania will be on 19. Okay, let me just write that down. Let me just put R19, just to abbreviate, just to save time. North Macedonia, they play against Armenia on the road, which is going to be interesting. Then they play against Iceland at home. I think North Macedonia will beat Iceland, guys. I think they'll beat Iceland. Okay? I think they draw against Armenia. You know? So, I could see a draw. So North Macedonia will be on 16 points. Armenia, on the other hand, they play against North Macedonia at home, which is going to be a big. I already said they'll draw that game. And I think Armenia, they play against Germany at home. I think Germany's going to win that. Sorry about that, guys. So Armenia, I think, will pick up 1 point. Okay? So that put Armenia on 13. And Iceland, well, we can just look at these for formality's sake. Yeah, I think Iceland's going to lose both their matches. They're on the road as well. Iceland's not really good on the road. Okay, so I think that means that second place will actually go to Romania. Romania was going to actually take home that second place spot, and then North Macedonia will take that third place spot. I don't think North Macedonia topped their Nations League group. I don't think they did. Yep, they didn't. They didn't. So, yeah, North Macedonia came in second. So that's going to be interesting, guys. So Romania comes in second. I believe I predicted Romania to come in third in my UEFA Nations League, my World Cup qualifier. So I'll have to double check. So now with that said, guys, let's go look at the World Cup qualifiers. Let's go ahead and see how many nations can advance by the Nations League kind of thing. So Nations League group winners. Oh, best 2 Nations League group winners. Yep, it's the best 2. Okay. So as you can see right here, guys, Wales and Austria will have the priority. So if Wales do get third, at least, which I do think they will, and then Austria, then I think they'll be safe. And Czech Republic also have that spot as well. So Wales, they'll get the priority. So yeah, I think Wales and Austria might actually be able to do it. So, yeah. Actually, hold up. I think Austria will actually get that third place spot, guys. I think Austria will get that third place spot. I think they'll actually. Let me see this actually. Let me check the UEFA Nations League. Let me just check this real quick. So, Nations League. Okay. So, Wales. I think I think they'll get third. Just because of the Czech Republic's goal difference. Wow. Oh, I see. It says right there, teams cannot advance to the players based on Nations League ranking, but can still finish top 2. Okay. So, yeah, Hungary can't do it. So, Z means one of these 2 teams will finish the top 2, while the other will finish third. Oh, I see. Austria, yeah, they can only advance to the Nations League based on the ranking. Okay, so that's going to be interesting, guys. That's going to be very interesting indeed. So, yeah, guys, we got some really interesting group there. So that's pretty much the World Cup qualifiers discussion for the month of November, guys. I went really in-depth with you guys, 33 minutes. I didn't even discuss about player names and all that because we'd be here all day, guys. We'd be here all day. And you see how long this has taken me, guys. You see how long this has been taking. And yeah, guys. So if you want to know what some groups to look out for, guys, I would keep an eye upon Group D. I think that's going to be a really interesting one. Group E, potentially, as well. I would keep an eye upon that. And then Group G. I would keep an eye on those 3 groups. And then Group F as well, I would keep an eye upon. And then Group J. And potentially Group I as well. So these groups I would keep an eye upon for especially how competitive it is. And so that's pretty much it. I predicted all the final games are significant for the World Cup deciding, guys. And it's going to be interesting. So, as I said before, guys, I will be doing a reaction video I will be doing a video on every single nation that's qualified to the World Cup. And I'll also be doing a separate video for all the playoffs and all that. Because remember, guys, I'm covering this from the start to the ending, guys. The qualification process, man. It's such a long process indeed. So, that's pretty much it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure you guys check out me and my other plus listeners below. Make sure you guys comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.